A summary of the news. Good evening. The Minister for Investment, Entrepreneurship and Industry, Devika Vidot, says there are many cases of conflict of interest in the way that development was being done on Ile Soleil. Minister Vidot said this yesterday afternoon after President Rival Ramkalawan and a delegation visited the area where development projects were being undertaken on the island. Yesterday, President Ramkalawan authorized the cessation of some structural works while an evaluation took place. Minister Vidot says there are many concerns with the work that is being done, such as inadequacy in the structures, work on reclaimed land which weren't on the additional plans, and concerns on the environmental impacts were also raised.
Right. So the President and the Vice President has conducted a joint visit today with myself as a representative of the Ministry and a representative of the Board of Directors of 2020, along with a number of representatives from different agencies concerned with the works that are being undertaken on the island. This came as a result of numerous concerns and issues that were brought forth to his office and that of the Cabinet Office. And therefore, they felt that it would be better for them to come to the island themselves to have a better appreciation of exactly what is going on.
And he has given the decision to halt the work. And what next after this decision?
So based on what has been seen and based on what the authorities have expressed, there has been a decision taken that some of the works need to come to a halt in order for a thorough assessment to be undertaken first.
With the constant evolution in the aviation sector around the world, laws need to be reviewed and adapted. 2 aviation laws are expected to be revised after being approved by the Cabinet of Ministers. They are the law against hijacking and a regulation for procedures to be followed following an aviation incident. Both laws date back to 1971. The Minister for Transport, together with the relevant partners, are working on these laws to ensure that they are up to date with international conventions.
We have laws that have changed since 1971. Our laws are still based on the pre-colonial period, that is 51 years back, and we have conventions which have created a necessity to modernize investigation with respect to incidences, accidents, whenever there is an injury, a destruction of airport services or aircraft. So we have to upgrade. The third proposal is that we have to look at the Hijacking Act, which is also 1971. Since the last 51 years, we've had many new modern crimes, especially to do with nuclear, biological, chemical, and cyber, meaning that you can use IT, your computers, basically, to bring down aircraft. But despite the numerous protocols and conventions dating way back from 1944 to new principles in 2020, our laws have not been domesticated. That is, we have not adopted international treaties and conventions to enforce the new international crimes and activities that surround us.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Citizens Engagement Platform Seychelles, or CEPS, says it's time for the organization to adopt new ways of working to be able to move forward. Mr. Alvin Laurence made the statement as CEPS celebrates its 7th anniversary this month.
The activities to commemorate CEP's 7th anniversary were held at the National Theatre at Montfleury. They included poem recitals, songs, dances, and presentation of gifts to those people who have helped CEPS over the past years. The Indian High Commissioner to Seychelles and several ministers also attended the ceremony. The Chief Executive Officer of CEPS, Alvin Laurence, said the organization has to move along with the rapid changing society. He noted in particular that the COVID-19 pandemic had brought about immense changes to the way we do things, and that meant adapting to those changes. Furthermore, Mr. Lawrence pointed out that there is a new government that functions differently from past administrations. He particularly noted that the government had made it clear that it wasn't about to get into practical details of how organizations like CEPS are run. From now on, he says, there are many issues that will have to be dealt with by the many associations and the CEPS themselves.
Some 50 people took part in the annual walkathon this morning to mark the World Diabetes Day, which is tomorrow, the 14th of November. The event was organized by the Diabetic Society of Seychelles in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. Representatives of other organizations like the Lions Club, the Stroke Foundation, and some diabetic patients also took part. The participants walked through the streets of Victoria, up the Bois de Rose Avenue, and returned to town via Montfleury in order to sensitize the population about the disease. It ended with free screenings at Dr. Moti's clinic.
Physical activity plays a major role in the prevention and control of diabetes. It is increasing globally and also in the Seychelles, okay? And that's what the last study done was only in 2013. There we had a prevalence of 11 to 12% of diabetic population, and many of them do not know that they have diabetes. And it is, so the diagnosed population was about 6,000 at that time. So I'm pretty much sure that it should have gone up above 10,000 now. But that's what it's good to do a study again to see the current status of diabetes in our country. Many people do not know that they have the diabetes. That is high sugar in the blood. So what happened? This is what 1 in 2 adults. This is what the WHO is really, is saying, that may have diabetes. So half of the population of the world may have diabetes. So it's very good to do the screening, to know the level of sugar in the blood, so that if they are diagnosed with diabetes, they should seek medical attention to control or the diabetes, so that they don't end up in complications.
And with this, we've come to the end of this news summary. I'll be back at 8 with the Creole Bulletin.